Only on 7 News. Big salaries, lavish spending, all part of the controversy surrounding the state-run workers' compensation company.
Pinnacol Assurance employees were so outraged by an all-expense-paid trip to one of the nation's most luxurious golf resorts, they contacted Call 7 investigator Tony Kovaleski. The trip raises ethical questions neither the board nor the CEO wanted to answer.
When you finger me again, I'm going to break it. You get it?
Are you threatening to hit me?
He's the CEO of Pinnacol Assurance, preventing 7 News from questioning his board of directors.
You don't turn that off?
You might remember Ken Ross from the interview he did with 7 News last year.
Actually going to go to the board and, after what I went through the last 2 months, think they ought to give me a raise.
More money.
More money for what I do would be certainly in order.
At the time, a Call 7 investigation raised questions about Ross's nearly $500,000 pay, large executive bonuses, and expensive trips to luxury destinations. Millions of dollars approved by Pinnacle's board of directors, a board appointed by Colorado's governor. Now, new ethical questions center on this trip.
Pebble Beach has long been known for its legendary links and breathtaking natural beauty.
5 nights at one of the nation's most exclusive golf resorts, and we were there with our cameras.
Yeah, so rooms range from
$695 usually to about $965 to the ocean.
Cocktail parties and high-end restaurants. Golf at the site of this year's U.S. Open, all on Pinnacle's account.
7 foursomes. Okay. All billed on the master account?
Yes, sir.
28 golfers, tee times at Pebble Beach, green fees of $495 per golfer.
Gary Johnson, what time does Mr. Johnson tee off?
12 noon. And then we have Mark and Deborah Lovejoy with them.
Gary Johnson is president of Pinnacle's board. Deborah Lovejoy, also a board member, is in charge of ethics. Joining their foursome, Johnson's wife, Lovejoy's fiancé, and a caddy.
Oh, wait, there he is. Sorry. He's at 11:30.
He is Ryan Heddich, the third board member on the trip. And in the next foursome, CEO Ken Ross.
The bus. Who was that?
Pinnacol.
Where were they going?
Carmel Valley wine tour.
While Pinnacol board members, guests, the CEO, and other senior managers play golf, others on the 5-day excursion toured wine country.
Was the Pinnacol group here earlier?
It sure was.
How long?
Ooh, let's see, an hour and a half.
Oh, good. And wine tasting?
Wine tasting, toured the vineyard and the barrel room and the production area, and they had a great time.
What's your reaction to what you've just watched?
But when you realize that this is really, they're stewards of the public money, this is a quasi-public governmental entity we're talking about here, I think it's ridiculous.
State Senator Morgan Carroll chaired a committee last year reviewing Pinnacle's business practices and the role of its board of directors.
The board is supposed to be the oversight, the check and balance. It is uncomfortable to me that there is a large amount of whining and dining.
And that's the heart of the issue. They are responsible for oversight. But the only oversight we witnessed at Pebble Beach was on their golf shots. Board member Deborah Lovejoy looking for a lost ball in the rough. Board member Ryan Heddich looking for the next tee box. And board president Gary Johnson trying to find his way to the green. Board members accepting plane tickets, hotel rooms, dinners, and $495 rounds of golf, by all indications, paid by Pinnacol.
How's payment being handled for the Pinnacol group?
For the Pinnacol group, it's on a master account. They're covering it on their master account.
What's that mean?
It means they put all the fees on one bill for Pinnacol.
Okay, so nobody's paying separately?
Correct.
Again, raising more questions about the independence of board members appointed by Colorado's governor. A question we asked board president Gary Johnson last year.
You're the chairman of the board. Is it an independent board?
Very independent.
A year later, and just days after he was reappointed by the governor, we asked that same question after his round of golf.
Mr. Johnson, Tony Kovaleski from 7 News.
Hey, Tony, good to see you.
How are you?
Doing fine, thank you.
What do you think the governor's going to think about you taking this kind of golf with you and your wife? And
before the president of the board could answer our question,
This is
a private affair. Do you have any courtesy in your life?
I'm talking to Mr. Johnson,
I'm talking to you.
Pinnacle CEO Ken Ross stepped in.
Why did your employees let us know that you were here? Why are your employees outraged, sir?
And moments later, the board's president stepped out.
Talking about spending a lot of money on a trip, and your board members appointed by the governor. Please don't push me. Please don't push me. Please don't push me. Is the state of Colorado being served by this trip, sir? When your board members are here, $1,000 for husband and wife to play golf? Why don't you just talk to me about it? Why don't you talk to me about it?
I'll talk to you.
Explain it to me, that's all.
And if he reacts like this when you question him, how do you think he's going to act when his board or his employees question these practices?
When they returned to Colorado, 7 News requested interviews with the 3 board members. Pinnacle responded, "We will not be making these individuals available for an interview," raising even more questions about the board's so-called independence.
Should the board members resign if they were on this trip?
I think they should.
So just how much did Pinnacle spend on the board members and their guests? 7 News requested copies of all receipts connected with the Pebble Beach trip. Pinnacle denied us access and has asked the judge to sanctify its decision to keep the spending records from you. It's more intriguing because last year the company allowed 7 News to review all of its spending on trips like the one you just saw at Pebble Beach. Now, late last week, we asked Governor Bill Ritter for a reaction to the trip taken by 2 of his board appointees. He told me he wanted to watch tonight's investigation before he weighed in. We hope to have his reaction tomorrow night. Now, we were tipped off, as we've told, by employees inside Pinnacle who said they were outraged by this all-expenses-paid trip.
Well, we'll anxiously await the governor's response.
More tomorrow night.
Very good. Thank you, Tony.